G'day everyone, this is Tim here. I just wanted to give you an overview of the Nerf Desolator. I got it from Singapore from a mate of mine. Mike, his in-laws came and brought over from Singapore to Sydney, so I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, as you can see here, this is just a standard flywheel blaster, re-shelled strife essentially, with a kind of cool mag. As you can see, it's just this kind of cool thing. It's a 10 dart mag, and with a white follower, which is a bit different. And the right side is transparent, translucent, I should say rather. That's pretty clear. On the other side is opaque, unfortunately. So it's a shame. There's no end strike barrel attachment here. There are two tack rails, a short one at the top, the front, and a long one at the back, although this tack rail actually stops here because there's a little notch there, so your accessories won't go back that far. This is just for show really, unless you want to put something small on the back that's going to fall off. It's a jam door here. It's I've already chipped it. I actually broke that a bit. It's made from a squishy material. Just show you that. Got a bit of flex to it. It's not as clear as this stuff here. This is rigid and more clear. I'm right-handed, so this is no good to me because I can't see when I'm shouldering it. I suppose I could just tilt that. That's not too bad. I'm just obviously not as convenient as doing this. Standard pusher in here. 4 AA batteries. Strife arrangement. There's a rev trigger here. And a door release, mag release, which comes out pretty easily. Jam door lock, so hear that power up. Jam door lock, and of course the mag detect. The mag comes in and out really nicely, quite smooth. I saw Rob from SBNC, his mag just comes straight up. Oh crap. Okay, so that one works. Let's try some other mags. I thought this one was going to be sticky. This is a standard banana mag from a Modulus or a Demolisher. Looks pretty cool as well. That mag came out by itself. That's pretty good. Try it again. Okay, so that works. Got a Stampede mag here. Falls out really easily. Secure. Comes out. Got a Firefly mag here. I think it's got batteries in it still, so I mean that looks kind of weird because of the non-matching grey. Stripes are pretty cool, but otherwise probably not a good match. Okay, so it needs a bit of wiggling, so this is a little bit tighter. I've got your half clear mag here. It's kind of consistent in terms of the half clear business here. That's pretty cool. In terms of it coming out. Okay, that's obviously a bit firmer as well. It's probably the tightest yet. It's not hard to remove though. I've also got a clear 18 here. Clear 18. That looks okay, I suppose. Probably not a great match compared to the other ones. That is definitely not coming out in a hurry. That's actually quite firm. Actually, there's a bit of resistance at the back here. So that's going to be, that might put you off in a war. So there's a bit of extra friction, just to keep in mind. And I've also got a P mag. Just ignore this white stuff at the bottom. I was trying to make it white at the bottom with some moddable plastic, but I stuffed it up, so just ignore that for now. I think that's a pretty good match, despite my poor handiwork. It comes out pretty easily. Doesn't fall out like the white one did, but I would recommend, if you want to have similar looking mags to the Desolator mag, I'd recommend this one. Let me just grab my mag back. Oh, yeah, it looks pretty good. Other mags I want to show you are the 25 round mag. It's compatible, looks fine. Be great if this was maybe white. You could probably paint that white to make it match. This grey here is probably not. You could probably paint that black to match the black. There's no grey on here, just a whole bunch of blacks. In terms of the mag though, the drum mag fits perfectly fine. It slides out with a bit of a jiggle. We've got a 35 here. That fits no problem. Looks alright, I reckon. And the mag comes out no problem. So all the mags, no problem. Just your clear 18's a bit tight. And got a 6 clip here. So this is the 6 clip. It goes in fine. Although it looks a bit weird. Slides out okay as well. Got one more mag here. Here it is, my favourite mag, but not for this blaster. This is a 12 round rapid red. Looks kind of weird, especially that side. That's just incoherent, but the mag fits no problem and drops out pretty easily. So this is a pretty interesting blast in the sense that some mags will fall out when you hit the release, others you'll need to pull out. So just bear that in mind. In terms of how it compares to other blasters, just in terms of length, I'll compare it to a rapid red for you. So just lay the rapid red on top. You can see that it's about the same length from handle to just line up the triggers. Okay, what's a bit longer? Of course, you can't shoulder a rapid red, but hey, you know, no barrel at the front and no stock at the back, and only one tack rail essentially. So this is just a flywheel blaster. Compare it with the Strife. Again, just line up these triggers, and the Strife is a tad bit longer with its extension here. The Strife also looks a little bit thicker than the Desolator. So this is like the opposite of a Desolator, is a demolisher, because all the action's at the front here. It's just kind of weird to even compare these two. They're two completely different blasters with all the extra stuff at the front. So your flywheels housed somewhere here, very close to the jam door, with all this extra stuff here, while there's not the flywheels are here with not much extra stuff here at all. In terms of the shouldering, the stock is quite short. Okay, so Rob did a good shouldering on SBNC, and Rob did a good shouldering demonstration. I'll just put the mag back in and show you the comparison with the Retaliator stock, because I know a lot of people replace their Retaliator stocks with, say, a Raider stock because they complain it's too short. So if I was to show you, compare it, In terms of the trigger, I'll just put my finger through the trigger hole and line it up. The Desolator is about 2 or 3 centimeters deeper, so it's not as uncomfortable as a Retaliator, but definitely not as comfortable as, I say, a worker stock or extended Raider stock. So it's pretty okay to shoulder. This could have been a couple of centimeters longer, but in terms of aesthetics, I mean, that's just about as wide as it's going to, long as it's going to go. So that's okay. I'm not complaining too much about that. One thing I've noticed though, and Gavin's pointed this out before, Gavin Fuzzy, is that the actual stock itself is very thin. So just by comparison, that's a Retaliator stock, and this is the Desolator. So it is a little bit pokey in the sense that it's quite narrow. It's not as comfortable to shoulder. Another comparison would be the Raven stock. Check that out. Look at the difference in that. And I think most people would say the Raven's got a pretty comfy stock if it's not a bit short. Just hold the Raven with the handles here. You can see how much extra real estate is given to the length there. So, you know, this is quite noticeably thin. One of my favourites to shoulder is the Stampede, and again, look at that. That's just kind of crazy in terms of how much narrower that stock is. And my ultimate favourite blaster is the Centurion in terms of holding it and shouldering it. Love to shoulder this thing. First of all, the Centurion stock is a fair bit deeper, but look at the width difference of that. I'm going to try and show you that. So I haven't the space for it. I'll try it again. Look at that. That's crazy, hey? If only the Desolator was a bit wider. Now, in terms of the actual plastic, you might notice that this is white frosty plastic. Can you see this? There's no more digicamo here. Try to get a reflection. It's all sort of speckled and rough. This is black paint on white plastic, but this part here is actually black plastic, and so is this, with a sort of a carbon fiber sort of pattern on it, and this here carries the same patterning. This is removable. It clips off when you unscrew the shell. This black part is actually separate to the white part. Same with the black part back here. So this is all separable when you open up the shell for painting, which is pretty handy. This part here is not separated. This part here is the same shell all the way through to the back to the white part here. So this is all one white bit of plastic. This is actually black paint on, or grey paint on, the white plastic, and you can actually see a bit of the spray mark here there of the what I believe to be the black paint on the white plastic. I doubt it's the other way around, but the other side here you can see the, just in the groove, so the speckling. Anyway, the this plastic is actually quite thin. I'm just going to show you. See that bending? You couldn't do that with a Strife or a Retaliator, right? So this is really thin material. You can actually feel it squeeze. A Raven or a Retaliator or a Rapid Strike is far more rigid than that. So it does make it for a very lightweight blaster, but it does feel a little bit too light in the sense that it feels a bit flimsy, and they save the materials. As you can see, it tapers to the back here. The other thing I've noticed, well, I might as well tell you, I've already opened this up. This is just a standard flywheel configuration. They're not twisted or canted anyway. It's just straight up. Normal flat flywheels. The flywheels are on this side, and the motors are on this side. Another thing, the rev trigger is nice and clicky. The trigger is comfortable. It's not as wide as other triggers, say in a Retaliator. It's not as smooth feeling. That's okay. That's not a huge complaint. One thing I've noticed though is this button is a little bit soft and squishy, so it doesn't offer much resistance or a reassuring click before you get it out. So it'll still works fine for the one-handed, but in terms of its travel, it doesn't travel very far, and some people don't mind that, but I actually prefer a bit of travel. So just by way of comparison, like a Rapid Strike, for example, as you can see, there's a bit more travel there. So there's way more travel compared to this thing. You can just see how much the buttons are sticking out. So that only goes in a little bit. This one goes in a lot. The other thing to note is the clickiness of it. It's a little bit not as clicky either, but definitely a lot more travel to it and more resistance. You hear it kicking back. I just got this one here. Doesn't really click back. It's almost as if something's sort of stopping it from bouncing back out again. Not sure what that is or why that is, but I don't like that in particular. I'm trying to think if there's another. Actually, the Demolisher is a good example. Have a look at that mag release. That's humongous. You can hear this clicking sound, and it's quite a bit of travel. Just compare again. Not much of a sound. Doesn't really bounce out. It's a bit sluggish. Anyway, so that's just one downside to it. In terms of the tack rail, I'm not quite sure what you put on this. You could probably put a scope or something. You could put a, one of these modular scopes on the front. That kind of works. It's pretty tight. This tooth is, and that goes on there, and that's hard to remove. In fact, I actually chipped the jam door by sliding a scope off too fast. So that looks pretty good. I mean, if this was painted black, that would be extra special, I think. So yeah, I did it again. I just whacked the jam door lid. Got your modules scope. Again, the colour scheme doesn't really match. If we were to make this sort of maybe white and paint this black, that would be pretty cool. On the front, yeah, it looks kind of weird. This random scope here, I'm not quite sure what that's from. It's sort of, now if your head's going to be quite close to here, so you might even be able to get your head. Yeah, if you're going to shoulder this, your face is going to be like up to here, so that's not going to work. Have a look. Yeah, that looks kind of weird as well. So you got the placement gives you limited options, I think. One other thing I want to show you was this 3D printed Picatinny rail. It's got a laser on here. Got this from Peter Thunderbolt. Now this is quite long, and you'd think that wouldn't fit, but because of this notch, it's just going to have to stop. So, but that actually, it's okay. So that's pretty cool. Turn that off. This is obviously too long for the front here. you can chop it up if you want. Get something printed shorter. That's pretty cool. Oh. Now one thing I really wanted was a barrel attachment, because imagine put one of these on, eh? That would be pretty cool. I'm a bit bummed that you can't put this Jason Lee Jace 3D muzzle on here, because I think that would look pretty mad. Oh well, you just take what you're given. Before I go, I do want to show you what this magazine looks like in other blasters, and also the compatibility. First up is the Retaliator. Looks pretty good. Looks right at home on the Retaliator, as you can see. Fits perfectly fine as well. Fits in the Rapid Strike. Seems to, well, it doesn't match, but fits and looks okay. Fits perfectly fine in the Rapid Red. Looks obviously weird. You probably couldn't redeem that. This orange mag looks kind of weird. Raven fits fine. Thankfully, it's got this carve out at the back of the notch there. Otherwise, if you're painting that green to match this, that would be pretty cool. The fact that this is white probably gives you a few options. Strife. Again, you could probably paint this blue, or even just keep it because it matches the white. If this was an orange strife, it might match better. That's actually a pretty good match. The white matches here, so I think that's pretty cool. What else we got here? We've got a sliced off Stampede. I haven't done anything to this yet. Just assume the front, or imagine it. Anyway, that still fits perfectly fine. And so that's my overview of the Desolator. Hopefully it'll come out in Australia soon. It'll be a great trigger, of course. Otherwise, call your Singaporean relatives. Alright, catch you later.